Hello, welcome back to Disciple, the book that gives you 60 or even more experiences of drawing closer to God, fulfilling more of His plan for your life. In today's lesson, we continue with the penultimate lesson, the next to the last lesson in the part 4 of the fifth week, the second lesson, which is entitled Seek to Fulfill More of Your Calling. As before, let me begin by quoting from the Bible. In this case, something that Jesus said to the Apostle Paul in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, in the New King James Version. My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Who, me? Such reaction often follows a believer perceiving some great calling from God for her or his life. Those who respond in this way often do so because they're quite clear they either don't know what to do or correctly appreciate that they cannot expect to accomplish much through their own efforts. Both reactions are accurate and understandable. However, such considerations are the wrong way to think about a calling. It's not about you, it's about God. Since He can do anything, it doesn't matter what you can or cannot do by yourself. He can do whatever else is required, and He knows exactly what to do. What the Lord said to the Apostle Paul in 2 Corinthians 12:9 directs us in how we should think when considering parts of our calling that seem way beyond us. Think from God's perspective about your weaknesses and for ineffectivenesses in engaging in a kingdom task. As a consequence, when such exist, will you pay more attention to His directions as you follow Him? I'm sure, hope so. Will others be more impressed that He exists and have a large hand in the good results? I don't see how they could help but have such a reaction, unless you persuade them that God played no role, a very sinful, unlikely, and difficult thing to do. Will you want to draw closer to Him? Unless you are foolish, you certainly will. With just these few perspectives, you may begin to better appreciate more of the reasons why God often fills us with desires that involve performing what we are very poor at doing. Can you act in faith that if God gave you a desire to accomplish something for His kingdom, He also has a way to use and make highly fruitful whatever you can do? If not, you need more faith. In the prior lessons in this part of Disciple, you became more aware of how well God can use whatever you do for His kingdom. You may also have discovered that you haven't been taking full advantage of the opportunities available to accomplish what's in your heart to do for Him. In this lesson, I hope you will discover that not doing what He has called you to do shows lack of faith and trust in God. Don't miss the opportunity to grow your faith and trust by repeatedly taking on what seems impossible to you. Your answers to the following questions will enable you to engage in and fulfill more of your calling. 1. What makes you think you should not engage in more aspects of what God has called you to do? 2. How does God answer when you bring these reasons to Him in prayer? 3. What does your inaction say about your faith in Him? 4. What does your inaction say about your trust in Him? 5. What does your inaction say about your relationship with Him? What role does pride in making a good impression on others play in your inaction? 7. What role does your desire for comfort play in not being obedient to all parts of your calling? 8. Would Jesus have gone to the cross if He had thought about His calling the way you do yours? 9. How do the answers to these questions make you feel? 10. What will you do today to start accomplishing unfulfilled parts of your calling for expanding and improving God's kingdom? 11. What lessons would you share with others about your experience just now and thinking about seeking to fulfill more of your calling from God? 12. What we do differently in the future. And let me remind you of this week's memory verse, a great one. My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness, the quote that we began this lesson with. So thank you for listening. I hope this has been a great blessing to you. and that you will be able to apply it often and have a wonderful time fulfilling more of your purpose. God bless you as you do. Goodbye for now.